Okay, gents, let's switch gears to Miami. The big story, Lionel Messi. He just has arrived and taken pretty much the American sports scene by storm. I mean, you're looking at him hanging out with uh, elite level athletes from all across the different sports, rocking up, scoring 3 goals and grabbing an assist in his first 2 games in League's Cup action, and on and off the pitch. I mean, when I think about 2026 and the World Cup and how that's fast approaching, Andy, it's just this feels like a huge moment for the sport in the
Yeah.
United States of America. I mean, you always hear about people saying how,
Yep.
with Pele and the Cosmos back in the day and how that really took it to new levels, and people really loved all those superstars who came to the NASL back then. But this feels different. I mean, this
Yep.
feels very, very different to anything we've really seen. And it's almost the perfect storm, right? Messi arriving now for the next few years ahead of the Men's World Cup.
Mhm.
And then obviously Club World Cup in the US and then Copa America. It feels like the next three years or so are going to be
Mhm.
pivotal to helping the sport just get to the next stage and really challenge some of the traditional US sports that have such a stranglehold on the sporting scene in America. But Messi,
Yeah.
I mean, what can we say about him?
Yeah, three of the five or six biggest footballing stories in the world for the next 3 years are going to take place in the United States. You just said it right there. Like, if you think about it in that context, the eyes will be on this country with regards to the sport of soccer every summer for the next 3 years. Whether it's Messi doing it for Miami, whether it's Copa America, whether it's the World Cup, all focus is going to be here. And I think the important thing that I've not seen anybody say this or even talk about this. I feel like MLS now has an idea of how to leverage and how to use a player of Messi's stature and caliber to catapult the league forward and to get it out there in front of more people. The way that it's accessible for everybody to watch online, I think, is a big part of that. But I think also MLS talking about reportedly loosening some of the roster restrictions on teams and what they can spend and how they build their roster is only going to accelerate it. And it's Messi that's at the center of that. Obviously, the names that have been floated out there and already signed, I guess, to enter Miami, but other players rumored to the league now. It's going to snowball really, really quickly. And it's suddenly not 36, 37, 38-year-old players who are well past it that want to come to MLS. I think they see not only the lifestyle that you get in a place like Miami, but I don't know. It's if Messi can go there and be happy and do it and play, then anybody can go there and be happy and do it and play. I think is probably how players look at it and view it. Like that should answer a lot of questions for players that have considered it, but ultimately decided not to come to MLS in the past. And so to see what he's doing on the field, the eyeballs that are on the on-field product now, it's not just talking about a player coming here, it's the actual games that are being shown and talked about. And I think discussed and analyzed in a much deeper and more serious, meaningful way as well. It's not, oh, MLS, nice little fun, cute league. It's, okay, you've got the greatest player of all time. We're going to really dissect and break down Inter Miami's tactics. And that is something, as somebody who covered MLS for a decade, every single day, that did not exist, years ago, let alone months or weeks ago before Messi got here. It has just taken the league, I think, to a new level of seriousness where people look at it and say, all right, I'm actually going to give that a chance. And I think people are going to like what they see when they do.
Yeah. If I try and draw comparisons, when I first came to the USA in the summer of 2007 was the
Mhm.
exact time
Yep.
when David Beckham turned up. And
Mhm.
this feels very, very different. That was huge then
Mhm.
as well. The presentations, the crowds that came to see him play. And David Beckham was an incredible player in his prime, sensational. What he could do with a ball, set piece situations, the drive, everything around him. Off the pitch as well, we know that, he is a global brand and a global business. But Nick, the fact that Messi's coming just after winning the World Cup with Argentina, and like Andy said, what he can do in terms of just other players saying, "Hey, Messi's there. I want to go to MLS," over perhaps other potentials like we've seen Saudi Arabia recently trying to get in on that, level of player that maybe isn't going to be at the top level in Europe anymore, but they're still huge superstar names. This is the Messi factor is something like Andy said as well. is going to take the league to a new level. And it's at a different level than it was, like I mentioned, in 2007, because now there's a lot more stability around the teams, around the ownership, around the way everything's structured. And all those great players, Beckham, Henry, everybody else, Rooney, etc., who've come over and had stints, they've helped grow it. But now it feels like it's all been building to this one moment when he's arrived. So, I mean, is this for you sort of the biggest moment in US soccer history in terms of we'll look back in 30, 40 years' time and say this is the platform and the moment that they really needed to take it to the mainstream? Or is that too simplistic? It's quite complicated, isn't it, to break down how long this Messi bump will actually last? But if I think about it, he's only played at home so far and we've seen everything. When he's going to be traveling to all these different MLS stadiums and the fanfare and everything that's going to be, sold out crowds at every single city he goes to, I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited that people in the States get to see such a great player in the flesh, and then all the other things that come with it as well. So in a roundabout way, this feels to me like the biggest moment in US soccer history. Is that how you feel as well?
I'm gonna dodge that to the side for a moment, because I don't know that I'm capable of answering that in the right way. What I will say is this: there are only 1, 2, 3 leagues in the world that will have the opportunity to say that the best player of all time played in it. I mean, that's really what we're talking about. This is an opportunity that most leagues don't ever have. So in that way, yes, absolutely right. Lionel Messi is going to teach, I think, both American soccer owners, American soccer media, and American random people what it means to have that star power. And we would talk about those 34, 35, 36-year-old players coming over, and we would say, oh, they're taking jobs away from Americans. They're doing this, that, and the other thing. But if you talk about the target moments for MLS, the target moments, the milestone moments, it's Zlatan, right? It's what Zlatan did. We remember something he did that was fantastic. We remember Rooney's goal when he charged back to take that ball and then set up an assist. And then this is Lionel Messi. This is the best player to ever play the most popular game in the world. So I had a friend ask me, and I think this is a nice place to put a bow on it. I had a friend who's a big hoop guy who's starting to get into soccer a little bit. And he asked me, he's like, so give me the sports equivalent. Is this Wizards era Jordan going over to France? And I said, no, this is LeBron 2 years ago going over to France. And it validating an entire project, an entire meaning of the sport. That's what this is. It's the best player to ever do it playing here. And so, yes, it feels like it's the biggest moment of potential in U.S. soccer history. And like Andy's saying, they're going to open up the walls a little bit and bring more guys in. Then let's do that.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. For even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock and be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend on USA Network and on Peacock. We will see you over there.